Hello everyone! To begin our podcast, we're going to begin talking about Bali. Bali is a place located in Indonesia, well known all over the world for its volcanic mountains and its amazing beaches. But not everything is perfect in this island. While some tourists enjoy the touristic spots, the locals are battling the lack of clean water and sanitation. This is why we chose to approach this problem in relation with the UN global goal, clean water and sanitation. And we are gathered here to talk about this problem in Bali with our expert Jaime Torres, which studied at ITAM Economy. Hello, Jaime.
Hello, Andrea. Good afternoon.
Okay, so we're going to ask you a few questions about Bali, okay?
Okay, yeah, sounds perfect.
Okay, as previously mentioned, Bali is fighting a serious water problem, and one of the main reasons is that the government is not doing enough. Why do you think the governments care more about satisfying the tourist needs instead of their own citizens?
But I believe that the Indonesian government should do more to address this private efficiency system where water right now it's a public utility, and we believe that water should become a private market where it would be best addressed by different companies. Because the Indonesian government right now doesn't have the sufficient resources to address this water problem.
Okay. So, and even though a country is so poor, how do you think can tourism still be sold without people noticing this?
Well, yeah, what we believe is that the Indonesian government should not treat water as a utility, but should get water as a private market. And that way, it would be valued at the real market value price, and it would not be subsidized by the government. And whenever tourists would arrive to Indonesia, they would pay the real price for the water and not the price that is subsidized by the government.
Okay. As you may know, the sixth Sustainable Development Objective is based on clean water and sanitation. More than 40% of the world population is affected by this problem, which is increasing more and more with the rise of temperatures due to climate change. Since 1990, millions of people have had better access to water and sanitation services. But even so, this problem is still very serious, as drinking water supplies are decreasing more. Do you think that the lack of clean water and sanitation in Bali is caused by climate change?
Yeah, I actually think that the problem of water in Bali and overall in Indonesia is caused by global warming, as it cannot be addressed as a problem by the government, because we believe that global warming has not been addressed enough by the Indonesian government as a real problem. Right now, Indonesia is the seventh largest country in combined sea and land area, so it's a very large country with almost double the population of Mexico right now, and they should address this problem for the future generations.
Okay, that's an interesting point. And do you think the entrepreneurs who contribute into the creation of touristic landmarks are aware of the health problems the countries suffer?
Yeah, I believe that declaring some places as preservation areas would be a first start to address this really important problem.
Okay. Since you're an economist, how do you think the governments all over the world can sustain tourism if a country is such poor? From where do you think they get the money?
Yeah, I believe that there's a huge inflow of money coming for the Indonesian government from tourists. But for the rest of the world, Indonesia, as the rest of the Southeast Asia, it's recognized as a pretty cheap place to go. So I believe that there should be packet for water. More particularly, there should be a privatization of the water system so that the price that is charged for water in Bali and all over Indonesia, it respects the laws of offer and demand more than right now. It is only government decisions. So it would be allocated more efficiently for the local population as well as for the tourists. So this a large portion of the income that the Indonesian government receives.
Okay. The government cares more about satisfying the touristic needs and keeping the country's good image in front of other ones by allowing and preferring the construction of touristic infrastructure as well as new projects. Despite the fact that tourism has helped Bali grow substantially in an economical and social aspect, their health, dignity and security and family rights are not being respected. Do you think that if the money dedicated to construction and tourism in Bali is directed to attack the lack of clean water and sanitation, Bali's economy would collapse?
Yeah, I think that there's a big problem because in Indonesia, the government is focusing on the short term and they might be focusing on attracting tourism short term. But if they really wanted to address the problem they have with water right now, they would have a medium and long-term solution to this water access problem that the population has right now, and it has been spreading also to the tourist population.
Okay. And for the last question, how do you see Bali in 10 years if this problem is not eradicated?
10 years, as long as it sounds, is not such a large time span. So I believe that if the Indonesian government doesn't address the water problem right now, in 10 years they would have a large problem with access to water from the population and from the tourists, so they could save a probable risk of making the tourists go away. And that's a big problem because tourism accounts for an important part of the GDP of the Indonesian country.
Thanks, Jaime, for your time, and we hope this problem is eradicated not only in Bali but all over the world. On the other hand, in sight of these great consequences, organizations like UNICEF and United Nations Millennium have decided to help them by creating programs that will improve the health situation in human rights terms. Nevertheless, it is important to take into account that the programs won't be a success if real changes will not be made by their own government, by the people, including citizens and tourists. Thank you, Jaime.
No, thank you for making a follow-up on the UN development goals, because if the UN development goals are achieved, there would be a best world for Indonesians, Mexicans, and everyone around the world.
Okay, I think so too. Thank you, Jaime. Goodbye.
Thank you, Andrea. Have a great day.
You too.